How's it hanging, Internet? Mr. Croker, the boss, good to see you too. Yeah, scary times ahead, Croker. No longer a hobo. I feel I'm right along with you, man. I don't know how to handle this either. Being employed, it's been like a whole year and some change since that's happened last. And last time it was with a video game, so it didn't even really feel like a job. It was definitely a job, but it didn't feel like it because it was with video games, man. What's up, guys? We got a lot to talk about. Poof. It's good to see you again. I apologize. I haven't been streaming much ever since Resident Evil 7 was done. I've been busy. I've been busy on the employment front, but also I just haven't had very many games to really play, right? Like, I'm waiting for Yakuza 0, which I missed out on the window, so it's not going to arrive anytime soon, I think. It might be that we have to wait for Nio, which really sucks, because I kind of don't want to play Nio. So you gotta apply begonias. I want to. I really want to, but so here's the story. Here's the story on the deal here, okay? I got hired by Walgreens. I went and did the interview 2 days ago, and they said they liked me, they thought I was cool, and they want to hire me. I went through kind of a formal process for hiring. I signed some papers and shit like that, but I haven't filled out the key essential stuff yet. Basically, they're offering me the job, and I'm accepting the job. So yesterday, I had to go pee in a cup, which was really irritating because yesterday took like an hour or something like that. It was certainly over 45 minutes. So I want to say it took a little over an hour for them to actually process me just to pee in a cup. There was nobody there, all right? There was virtually nobody there. I think there was two people ahead of me, and they were already done or something. They were doing something else. They didn't have to pee in any cups. I had to pee in a cup, and for some reason it took over an hour for them to prepare that when there was nobody there. But I finally did it. I peed in the cup. I yucked it up with the nice chick there for a little while. Talked a little bit about the begonias. I haven't had any in like over a year, so we're clean. We got no problems on that front. Drug testing, never going to be a problem because I don't really get into that stuff. I want to though, but I don't because I know it's going to be a problem. But in any case, I finally got it done. It took over a fucking hour to pee in a cup. I called up the person that I'm working with at the Walgreens, and she says that she's gone. Or rather, some other guy said that she's gone. I couldn't get in contact with her. I couldn't talk to her. She's gone on vacation, which she told me she was going to do. But she wanted me to call her after I took the pee test, and I did, but I got some random dude instead. And I was like, can you tell her this for me? And the guy's like, yeah, she's on vacation. She won't be back till Monday or something like that. But I'll send her a text. I'll let her know that you did your drug thing and it's all good. So it's kind of fucked up. Oh wait, she's not actually gone, Rip. Seriously, like this happened to me at the fucking Popeyes place, Croker. This is the same thing that happened at Popeyes where I was in. She said, we're going to hire you, but you've got to come back and do some extra shit. I came back, and the chick was gone. And I kept emailing her and calling her, and she never said anything back to me, so I couldn't get in on Popeyes. This is the same thing, except now, I apparently am already through a process. Like, I've actually done paperwork, and I've done the P test. So everything should be better than when I worked at Popeyes. But we won't really know what's going on until the drug test is done, which is supposed to be maybe Monday, maybe a couple days later, which is also theoretically the time she gets back from her vacation. So, no matter how we splice it, I'm not quite hired yet, but I am well on the way, and I mean, I don't see any particular reason why I won't get hired. So that's the background. That's what I've been doing the last couple days. Justin David Zarzicki. It's good to see you, man. I hope I said that right. I keep saying that every time. I like saying your name because it's good practice. Justin David Zarzicki. Just make sure I'm saying that right. That helps around. That helps with the mouth problems. So yeah, I really should be employed very well soon. Very well soon. I know, right? Fucking ran on vacation the day I need to talk to her. I swear, nothing ever works out. Nothing ever works out. Here's the thing, though. I'm going into this Walgreens Like, I'm going to a different Walgreens to be processed, and then I'm going to actually work at a different Walgreens. I have 3 Walgreens in my area. They're all within 2 miles. And I don't even go to Walgreens. I mean, I never really cared for them very much. I go to a local place, Bartell Drugs. That's where I pick up any medicines I gotta do. So this shit is really weird, but I'm going to this one place over here that I'm just applying. I'm actually going to work at a different store, but I'm going through the process over here because the store I'm going to doesn't have a manager. And apparently they just have some employees kind of filling in the leadership roles right now. They don't have a manager over in the proper store yet. But they need people and they need a manager. So I'm being processed and I'll be thrown into this store. It sounds like it's going to get pretty crazy. It sounds pretty crazy. In any case, talking to the chick before she left for her vacation sounded like they wanted to put me in customer service. I don't even know the first thing about this shit. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know. It's nice, though, that I might be getting a job. But here's the big deal. Before we move on to the sweepstakes, Croker, here's the big deal. Working means I don't get to stream as much and as willfully as I used to be able to. For like the last, ever since 2016. When 2016 hit, I lost my job as a product tester. And basically throughout the entire year, even though I had odd jobs here and there, like that fucking, I did a week of that, what was it? You know, I was cruising around, delivery guy. No, a courier. I did that for like a week. Other than that, like, I really haven't been working. So I've been able to pretty freely stream whenever I like at about, you know, regular intervals, and that's largely what I did with video games that I could get my hands on. I would just stream. So like I fucking man, it's just I don't believe you had a job at the end of 2015. I did. I worked all through 2015. The very day 2016 hit is the day that I was told that my company that I worked at, which was HCL, is cutting off its physical department. It's cutting out its hardware section of product testing. So all they would have left is the software side, which doesn't get nearly as much activity as the hardware side usually does. So I mean, I still was technically hired. I'm still on the payroll. In fact, they could call me at any time, and I could go over. The problem is, I think I've worked there twice in 2016 doing product testing for that shit. So, yeah, your company hadn't called you in like a month by the time they told you were cutting you. So, here's the thing. When I was over there back in 2015, near the end of 2015, I was working with them. I was actively there every day doing this weird department that we had just opened up maybe a couple months before that. And we were hearing that they were going to kind of cut back. But then the last month of 2015, they cut out the physical department. I was in a new department, not even software side. I was in a wholly new department. And then that one got cut off after a month there. And then it rolled into 2016 at that point. And then there was a whole month where I didn't get called. And that's when I found out that they had cut my department as well as the physical one, which I kind of already knew was getting cut. So yeah, I mean, 2016, right at the start, is very much when I didn't have the job. Is when everything just fell out. So yeah, it sucked. I mean, that's how it was. That's why I had 2016 all to myself. So that's the big thing here, right? Is that 2016, I really didn't work. So I had a lot of streaming time. I could do a lot of this stuff. I could play whatever the fuck, and I didn't even really have to have a schedule, right? I tried to aim for like 5 or 6 p.m. if I could, PST. I tend to like that time zone because I can get Croker in here. I can get Infected SA before he goes to sleep. He can spare a few hours. And I don't know. I mean, sometimes if I do it even earlier than that, I can get Monica in here and Sarah Fortune. It seems like some of the regulars that we have here kind of prefer an early start, you know, around 4 or 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Seems to be a good time for it. Now that I'm hired, or at least I'm going to be hired by Walgreens, the whole thing is going to be really messy. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen to my times. They say that every week you're going to have a different schedule working at Walgreens. So I'm going to end up having like a day shift one week, maybe a night shift the next. Every couple of weekends, I have to work the weekend. So really fucking weird. Really, really fucking weird. I don't know what's going to happen. I honestly don't know. But what I want to tell you guys is that my times are going to be all fucked up, and while I'm learning to do this job, I might have to be gone for a long time, depending on how much they're really going to slam me against the wall. I mean, I'm in the learning phase, so it's going to be pretty hard. I've never done anything like this. I've never done retail, never done any of this shit. Sounds like they want me in customer service, which, again, I've never really done anything like it. So it's going to be weird. It's going to fuck with the times, and I apologize. Because, I mean, I try really hard to stream often and frequently and as much as I can. I'm playing a game here, Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, I don't really care for because it's fucking the only thing I really have on my plate right now. It's the only thing I have access to. So, that's the deal. That's a big change. We got plenty of other things to talk about. But why don't you buy Nioh? So, I don't really care for Nioh. It doesn't look that interesting, to be honest with you. I'm kind of like what Croker's thinking, you know, fuck Nioh. I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look like a game that's going to be very complete. It looks like it has a weird mishmash of mechanics to it. It doesn't look like Dark Souls. It doesn't look like Dark Souls at all, which is weird when people say, oh, it's Dark Souls. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it plays out that way. I've seen plenty of gameplay clips, and the mechanics of attacking and then kind of backing off to recover your stamina and stuff like that, I don't know. It doesn't look too great. It looks like it takes a lot of work to kill just one basic minion guy. It takes a lot of swings and a lot of work. It doesn't really look like it's something I'm going to enjoy. And the aesthetics of it, of being in like this really Onimusha style setting, kind of turns me off a little bit. Like, I'm not really enjoying that aspect. It still looks like Bushido Blade went worse. I mean, I don't even know if I would call it Bushido Blade, because Bushido Blade, you can get one-shot kills in that shit. You can bop a guy on the head with your sword and he's dead. In this one, like, unless you mean graphics-wise, because graphics-wise, yeah, it doesn't look very strong. I know there's, like, all these weird options where you could play in 720 and have 60 frames per second, or you can have 1080 at 30 frames per second. I know there's some weird shit like that, but, you know, whatever. That's just whatever to me. I don't really care. It's the basic game. The basic game doesn't look that appealing. But even though I'm kind of down on Nioh, I'm not excited for it. It's in my Gamefly list. But that's why I'm not going to buy it. Right now, the Gamefly situation, okay? This is what it's looking like. Yakuza 0 is now out. The problem is, it's been out for quite a bit, for a couple of days at least, and I missed the availability window. So right now, my Gamefly list in number 1 slot is Yakuza 0, but it is low availability right now. Very low availability, it says. Which, to me, anything underneath, like, immediately available means they don't have any copies to send me. And now I have to wait for somebody else to send their copy back, and then they can send me that copy. Strong chance I'm not going to be getting Yakuza 0 anytime soon, because it's a game that takes a long time to beat, and who knows how long I'm waiting for. I mean, who knows? In my experience, it takes a long time. This is the drawback of Gamefly. If you are not there on a game's release, if you do not have it in your hands on release, you are not going to get a copy of that game for a good long time. We're talking weeks, quite possibly could take longer than a month. I don't think I've ever had to wait longer than 2 months to get a game in this like that if I missed the opening window. But I've had to wait a long time. I've had to wait a long time if I missed that window. That's what happened with Yakuza 0, because originally I wasn't going to go for it. I was just going to wait for Nioh. But as I looked for at Nioh, I realized that I really would rather give Yakuza 0 a shot. Croker wants me to give it a shot. I'd like to give it a shot. I kind of like the beat-em-up aspect of Yakuza 0. And at the very least, it looks more interesting to me than Nioh. So that's the slot that I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Yakuza 0. Strong chance we're not going to get it. In my second position on Gamefly is Nioh. It's right there. So when the 7th rolls around, if I do not have Yakuza 0 out, if it is not in my hands, if it is not on the way, by the time the 7th rolls around, Nioh will immediately be sent to me. Immediately. So I'm not missing the release window of Nioh. I'm not missing it. But if I do get Yakuza 0 before I get Nioh, the Nioh will not come. But the flip side is true. If I do not get Yakuza 0 by the time Nioh releases, I will be getting Nioh. So no matter how we splice this, somewhere around the 7th of this month, we will have either Nioh or Yakuza 0. Hopefully we'll have Yakuza 0 before that point. But like I said, I'm not very hopeful of it. After that, we have For Honor, which is the real game that I'm looking forward to. It looks fun. I mean, I played it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, it's kind of shallow. It's not as great as I thought it was when I first played in the beta. But I'm still excited enough for it that I want to play it and see what it's like. So For Honor is on the 14th. That's a whole week out after Nioh's release. We've got a ways to wait. But I'm going to have to find an opening in my Gamefly slot somehow. Probably send this back, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. And thus, it's probably why I'm not going to be playing Assassin's Creed Bro today too long. I just want to kind of do something. I want to play a game and talk to you guys about stuff that's been going on. And this is the only thing I really have. So we'll just play this until I get fucking bored.